Guys, welcome to the stream. Today we got some exciting, very freaking exciting news. I'm super pumped. Welcome to the chat. If you're here, let me know where you're from. If I don't know where you're from already. Most of you guys I see from the US, but some people come in from other countries, so welcome. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. Don't know how long I'll keep this up because it is time sensitive information. We don't know what's going to be happening for between now and the rest of the month, but it's going to be super duper exciting. So I'm excited. I can't wait. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We're doing it in 30 minutes or less. I got 12 things going on at once. Testing a new battery that came in these big mics, LP E12 for the M50. So I got that running on the camera right now just to see if I can get comparable battery life, if they're better than the K-Star batteries, because as you guys know, I said I was recording that M50 video series that we're going to be releasing. First video should be dropping later tonight, and then if not at the latest, maybe tomorrow morning, but we'll get that going. And then lots of great things, lots and lots of great things. So let me see if I can see the chats and any of the other good stuff going on here. I'm trying to remember how I found it the last time. Hopefully audio's good. Everything is good gravy, good to go. So I guess it has to be an actual, hitting buttons. All right. I don't know where it's at, but I guess I'll see it once a chat comes up or whatever. Anyway, let's get to it. So Canon released a full frame mirrorless camera, and holy macklemore. I'm excited. I'm super pumped about it. Let's go to this here. It's getting juicy out here in the camera world, guys. So it is a full frame mirrorless camera. Now that's what we expected with the M50. We expected when they were coming out with this camera for it to be, you know, the answer to Sony's other cameras that they've been having coming out, because you know, whether you're into this kind of stuff or not, matters not. We want to hear from our favorite camera brands. We want them to, you know, they're going to keep going another round with them. Go punch for punch, blow for blow. And so Canon sits around and they hee-haw and back and forth. Panasonic is very aggressive, so we got some news about that too. So is Looper, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. So glad to have you on the stream, man. So Panasonic goes back and forth with, you know, these other camera brands, the GH5, GH5S, and they're pretty solid about, you know, listening to their consumers, listening to us, what we want, what we're asking for, and they kind of hold back. So where they differ is being micro four thirds and being, you know, just not having the best autofocus. They've been consistently upgrading it and trying to make it better, but it still is really not on par with phase detection autofocus, and that's what leads a lot of people to Canon. Honestly, that was what led me to switching the vlogging cameras out for the specific price range, flip out screen, all that good stuff. Tried the GX8, tried the G7, Panasonic G7, didn't work. And Panasonic G7, in my opinion, a fantastic camera. I just couldn't use it for vlogging. Me personally, I couldn't do it. This one, I used the M6, M3 before by Canon. This is the Panasonic ZS70, and I'm talking a million miles a minute. That's how I know I'm very excited. But man, Canon dropped the full frame mirrorless camera. It was supposed to release September the 5th. So what happened is apparently sometime between me going to bed last night and waking up early this morning, I wake up to some rumors. So let's jump over to some rumors that I saw coming up. So let's go here. All right. So the rumor is that Canon's supposed to be dropping this full frame mirrorless camera on September the 5th. Now, they weren't sure if it was going to be like something like the M50 or, you know, basically like the M6 or would be M8 or M5 Mark II type something, another APS-C camera with semi-comparable features, but, you know, very little different between them. But apparently it's going to be the full frame one. So this is the specifications on it. So if you don't know, you know, we don't have everything. This is just a rumor, but these rumors are pretty accurate most of the time. So they say in a 30.3 megapixel as far as the sensor, full frame sensor. So for as wide as it's going to be, 100% from top to bottom, 88% coverage from left to right, which is not bad. And dual pixel autofocus rarely ever fails as far as not picking it up. It may be, a slight delay from time to time if you're in the dark. I mean, hardly anything can really see in the dark. As soon as it gets a glimmer of light, it picks you back up. So I'm not really concerned about that, but they're saying it's not going to be completely the full sensor readout, but for the most part, close to a full sensor readout. So this EV-6 low brightness autofocus, basically it should be doing really well in low light. 4K video. Now I said that in my other video. So here's the punch in the face right here. They're saying it's going to be 4K video. That's one of the places where it's going to be a full frame camera. I think it is going to be competitive. The other specs is going to be real good. We're going to jump to those in just a hot second. But where Canon always messes things up is the 4K. For a long time, it was dual pixel autofocus. You know, like everybody, well, they don't put dual pixel autofocus on all their cameras. Then 2017 at the show that happens in Vegas, I'm trying to think of what it's called, but they did it there. They released the T7i, the 77D, and the Canon M6. Those all had dual pixel autofocus. And so now for moving forward, cameras have dual pixel autofocus. So it's like they hold off right up until the point everybody is just sick and tired of not having something, and then they do it. So same thing with 4K, but where it comes with the 4K, I can pretty much say that it's probably going to be cropped, because when you look at what they said when they released the M50, like, well, you're not going to get everything at this price point. And another, again, a little punch in the gut there, but it's all good. It's all good. So I think it's going to be a crop in the 4K. So it's saying, like, you get so much of the sensor, it's probably going to come down, maybe not as much as the M50, but this camera is going to be close to another $1,000 more than the M50 was at its release date. So maybe not as much of a crop, but it's still going to be a crop. Whether or not it'll have that weird jello effect when you're, swiping from left to right. So I wonder if that's going to be a thing for the 4K. So there's some questions about the 4K video, but we don't know all of what it's going to be. So it's probably going to be cropped 4K, but right now it just says it's 4K video, which is good. Touchscreen LCD, that's something that's a constant. Articulating screen, I'm glad they didn't play any games with that. So that's something that's been a constant with Canon. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, those are incredible. If you've never used the Canon Connect app or the Panasonic camera app, use those. It's incredible. Really, really, really awesome. Microphone jack, headphone jack. Yes. Like, seriously, that is a feature that we do not get that often with cameras, not that cost, $2,000-$3,000 or less. You really don't get it all the time. And if it is, it's a really, really heavy camera. And this one is saying it's going to be like approximate weight. It's going to be 580 grams. So that's pretty cool. Pretty light camera. That may be something like the G85. So something like this. Not that bad. 500, so this is not bad. I've vlogged with this before and it's not bad. I just don't want to take this out and about all the time. It's one thing if somebody steals, this camera, I can replace this. But, my G85, I'm feel some type of way about that. Feel some type of way if somebody steal anything, but I'm just saying, So that's the thing. So it's going to be pretty light. So that is pretty cool. So whether or not it's going to have that built-in in-body image stabilization, like, I don't know if you can kind of see, but there is, let's see here. This has built-in in-body image stabilization in the G85. The M6 does not. The M5 does not. A lot of their cameras do not. So the M50 does not. So we'll see what happens with that. That's another questionable area. They're also saying that it's going to be dust-proof, drip-proof, which at this point it should be. Magnesium alloy body, which is good. The LPE6N, which I think is, let's go over here to Amazon. I think this is the, could be the G80, not G80, I'm thinking G's. So, oh, that's not that bad. These batteries are pretty, okay, so the M50 battery is like $57 or so. So that's not that bad. You get some knockoffs pretty cheap. This Big Mike's, that's the brand I just tried. So $27, you get a replacement battery. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but it's saying the same as the 70D, 80D, and all of that. So if you already have those cameras, then that's a good thing. You can check that out. you know, if you already got spare batteries, then that's cool. Battery grip, hopefully it's a real battery grip, Nikon. That's also going to have a shutter button on it and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a new adapter. And so it is supposed to be 54 millimeters, a really small flange distance, 12 pins, which is a new, so that's a completely new mount. So they're moving from the EF-M for APS-C, and they're going to have a totally new mount for this full frame one. So some other stuff coming. And then they have some adapters. Now this is really, really cool. Really, really, really cool stuff. So let you drop any questions, comments. I've been watching some other people that have reviewed it and talked about this stuff in our little camera-ish world and stuff like that. So drop your comments, your thoughts, and all that. We'll get to the chat just a second. So we got that. And then it's supposed to be these mount adapters. So it's going to be an EF to EOS R, which is the regular full frame for the DSLRs. It's EF to this new mount, a control ring mounts adapter, EF to EOS R, which I'm thinking that's going to be where you are able to take it from, I think it's got to be, let me see here, something like you would find the focus ring or something like that on the lens already. So they're moving that closer to the body. So I think that may be something like that. Control your shutter speed, your aperture with that ring at the adapter point. So it's closer to the camera body. So that's, we'll see what that actually comes out to be. And a drop-in filter mount. So instead of putting a filter that you buy on a camera, so let me bring this back to me real quick. So like when you are, what about dual pixel autofocus? Listen, Vapey Gamer, I'm gonna come right back to that real quick as soon as I talk about this filter thing, because I want to know that too. And they're not fully specifying, but so like this is like a filter, it's a UV filter. I put it on all my lenses. So they're saying they're going to have one of these adapters be a drop in. So it should be somewhere about here in the camera. Let me bring this closer. Somewhere about here. And you should be able to put one of these in there or attach it and have it or whatever. So it's removable. So it's not actually on the lens, it's closer to the sensor. So you don't have glass fighting with glass. So they're doing some really different stuff. I'm really shocked. I'm surprised. I'm excited. I've not been this excited since I bought my first camera. Like I'm pretty giddy about this. So that's going to be something real cool. Man, and it's going to be a small body too. Like and I keep comparing this to the G85 because imagine the G85 body, thick grip, all of that stuff, fully articulating screen, all that good stuff. Like imagine this is a Canon camera, it's all the same features, and it's 4K video and full frame. Like, and it's still light. It doesn't have the built-in in-body image stabilization. So, but from when you turn off that additional electronic stabilization, like in the M50, you don't get that ripping, tearing, warping nonsense that everybody was talking about the M50 had. That's optional when you add that on there. So you don't get that when you turn that off. And the vlogging looks normal. So if you have the M50 or something that has that additional electronic whatever that crops in even more, turn that off. It's going to script the footage. So Vapor Gaming is saying, what about dual pixel autofocus in 4K? I have no idea. They're not specifying. When we go back over here to the, and I'm on canonrumors.com. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm excited. Shoot. And I had some coffee. So I want another cup for real. So. They're not saying, they just say 4K video. So they're not exactly saying if it's going to be cropped. Probably. What's up, Michael? Michael Simmons, welcome to the stream. Man, I'm glad you actually made it to a live one. I know I usually do this Friday live day, but I had something to do yesterday and I couldn't do it, so I wanted to do this one today. But they're not saying anything about the 4K video. They just say that it's going to have 4K video. One thing, if I'm looking at the other full frame DSLR cameras that they have, the cinema cameras that they have, the M50 and the APS-C lineup that they have that's mirrorless, and anything else that has maybe 4K or doesn't have 4K, where this camera looks like it's going to fit in is somewhere that's going to be like a basic, this seemed like a basic model camera. They may come out with something that is comparable to an A7R III maybe. I think this is their answer maybe to an A7 III. So more than likely, this one is going to have a crop on it. Whether or not it's going to be a tough crop like the 4K is in the M50, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to maybe pull that back a little bit. Is it still going to be jello-y? Maybe. I think it probably will be jello-y, but not as much as the M50. Like, these issues with the M50 are artificial. These are artificial crops. They are not doing this, like the camera doesn't have these limitations on its own. They, like checkbox, yeah, we want this, want that. No, leave this like that, or minimize it so that you don't just only buy the M50 and you're good. Because they want a lot of people to apparently buy this one, which is fine. But I think it will be a crop on the 4K. I do think the 4K will be pretty good, but I wonder, like, we don't know about the megabits. Like, we'll find all that out on September 5th when they actually announce it. These are just leaks and the rumor specs that we have right now that leaked out. So at least it's going to have 4K. Whether or not you're going to be stuck on a tripod like you kind of are with the M50 and manual focus. And that's another thing. Is it going to be dual pixel like you said? I hope so. I hope they're turning over a new leaf. I hope they've gone to counseling. I hope Canon has gone to see their therapist, their psychiatrist, and everybody else that they would need to see so we can get dual pixel autofocus in 4K. I hope that they have their medicine. I hope that it's a bright, sunshiny day. I hope that all the stars are in alignment so we can get dual pixel autofocus in 4K. And if they do, they may put that 6D Mark II type autofocus in there where it's a little bit slower almost sometimes. So that's the thing. So we'll see. Other specs real quick, and then we'll jump over to what Panasonic is doing. So we talked about these mounts. These will be really interesting. The weight is really looking really good. The grip, the battery grip that they are going to have come out with it, that's looking really good. It's going to have the 70D, 80D, and all the other regular battery size, so you can get those for cheap. And I also want to be talking about a discount that's coming up here, some stuff that's going to be happening. So some new lenses too, if you're interested in that. I'm not too focused on that for right now, but those are something that's, coming out that's cool. 35mm f1.8, so pretty good in low light camera, image stabilized. That's going to be for the new camera, this RF 24 to 105, so maybe a kit lens probably that'll come with that. And then these are the pictures that are coming with it. So this is going to be the body of the camera. And then I'm moving my other stuff out the way. My bad here, guys. Okay. That's going to be the body of it. That's what it's looking like with the actual lens on it. The kit lens is probably a 24 to 105 lens, that f4. So that's okay. This is going to be the back of it. So this is pretty interesting too. When you're looking at the back of this camera, that looks like a rocker. Like, like a volume control rocker on your remote control. That looks like either a rocker, some kind of touch something. We don't know what that is, but that's with these arrows on the side. It looks like it might be. And I'm curious as to what they plan on doing with that. So this is also the same. This isn't like one of those spin dials or whatever, rotating dials. That's the same one like we have on the M50 here. And I can show you that real quick. So the way that one looks, and never mind me, I'm doing an audio test or a battery test right now on the M50. So if you look, let me get this closer to the camera. It doesn't spin. It just has buttons on it. So if you can see that doesn't rotate. Like it's not like this one here on the ZS70. Where it rotates all the way around. You can see that. So it's not going to be one of those. That's not a bad thing. Some people, you'll probably hear people talk about that. That's not a bad thing because when you are holding the camera and you gripping it and stuff like that, the fleshy part of your hand will move that from time to time. I don't care how good the grip is, it will move that. And so I'm sure that's why they took it out. And you'll press buttons. Those also function like a button. So you'll press stuff while you're holding it. That's not good. So that's going to be a thing. Also, they're talking about, all this looks like is a big brother to the M50. That's what it honestly looks like in full frame. This is comparable. This is a switch that's similar to the M50. This is like that dial that we have, our control dial on the M50 already. So that's that same type thing, and that feels really good in the hand. So that's the back of the camera, fully articulating screen. Finally, solid. Okay, let me bring it back. Let's get to the chat real quick, and then I'll get to the front or top and the rest of the camera. So, Michael, yeah, it's cool. Much love, DG. Appreciate you, my brother. Started not being so worried about. Okay, so Michael's saying I started not being so worried about 4K anymore. I just want to tell a great story, and I'm gonna be getting to some stuff real quick about that in just a second. Saud Alawadi. Hello, my brother and or sister or potentially somebody. Welcome to the stream. You are the camera girl. I love this stuff. Like I'd low key have an addiction with it. Because I'm finding myself doing more projects. It's actually a branch of business that I'm starting to formulate right now and add that in and restructure some stuff. Because I'm just getting too many requests for paid projects, and I'm getting paid pretty well. So, and I was just said in the last stream, like I wasn't thinking about moving to full frame for my purposes, but if I incorporate this videography work that I do here locally, then that's something that I'm going to have to invest in. It's a couple different specialty tools. So I'm going to get my Part 107 drone pilot's license. That's something I was already working on. And then also I'm head of video at my church. So I do all that stuff there. And this is also stuff that I have to pay attention to for that purpose. I can't hand somebody a G85 that's a volunteer or something. They don't know how to use these, these cameras like that, but I can with a Canon camera. That's why I typically recommend them, because they're very easy to use. I can set the settings, and then the autofocus will hit it like it's supposed to, versus with the G85, I know exactly how to get it exactly just the way I want it. But if I hand it off to somebody and something changes or whatever, they aren't going to know how to change that stuff back. So my church is going to be in the market for picking up a camera. So I'm looking at this stuff for that too. So I think we got a winner here. So let's get to the rest of the camera. So if we look, this is the same button that's on, like I promised they used this M50 as a beta tester. They had to. This APS-C that they've been using, I heard somebody else say that, and when they said it, it made a complete sense in the comments for another video. They've been using this APS-C lineup as a beta tester. At first, it was going to be like a point and shoot comparability factor when it comes to, having an interchangeable lens, small camera stuff. But I'm seeing a lot of stuff being adopted from the M50 into this full frame mirrorless camera. This is something that'll be probably, close to the Z6 type stuff, Panasonic G85 type stuff. So as far as what's included, so that shutter button, it feels really good on the M50. So you guys will like that if you try that camera out. This is a still from the Fuji X-H1, but it's a good theft. So that's a good thing to steal. If you're going to steal from another camera manufacturer, let it be good, let it be good. And this is really nice. So not that antiquated system that they've been using, but that looks pretty good. They're comparing this to one of their other, this may be like the 5D Mark IV. It looks like it may be, or something thereabout, as big as the DSLRs are, comparable to what this new camera is going to look like. So that's something when you switch from, a full frame DSLR camera that has the mirror box in there and, this larger LCD screen. These cameras are still working fine. If somebody gave you the 5D Mark IV, keep it and use it. These are still amazing tools. We're just seeing technology and free market enterprise in the business world, as far as the camera industry, really do some stuff. So yeah, that's the comparabilities there. They're showing like you can use your regular lenses if you have any Canon lenses. And like I said, this adapter that they're coming up with is super thin. That's going to be nice. That's why I bought the this 22 millimeter pancake lens for the EFM lineup, because I didn't want to get an adapter that's going to be that thick, and then the lens is that thick too, and it winds up being the size of a regular lens, and it defeats the purpose of having small factor or a small form factor for your tools. So if you have an adapter that's probably, if you take the part from my finger, that's what that adapter looks like. Just that small, just from this part this way over. So that's super thin, super duper thin. So this also, so this has like I don't know if it'll have an intervalometer. I think that's what it's called. for you to be able to do time lapses built in, but that's for the remote. So cameras always have that. Microphone and a headphone jack. I'm pumped, man. This looks good. This looks really, really good. Oh man. Oh, I clicked out of it. My bad. Okay. So these are these 3 adapters. So like I said, these are looking super, super duper thin. This looks good, guys. I'm excited. New 35mm lens that's coming out for it. We talked about these 28-70. That's more than likely the kit lens. It has that red ring on it. So I'm wondering if that's going to be like an L series glass type thing, which is, you know, high quality stuff. So we'll see. We will see. So these are just some of the lenses that leaked out as well. You go to canonrumors.com and check that out as well. Yeah, man, it's looking real thin. It looks good. And this is just the body of the camera. And if you look honestly at the M50 and you compare this one, this is just a enlarged version of the M50. Doesn't have any buttons or anything on the side. None of this stuff has changed. But this is like an M50 that's been upgraded for a big brother version of the M50. So, and that just takes us back to where we were at. Like I said, all this stuff is coming from the M50 by itself. So that's pretty much it as far as that. So let's jump over to what they were talking about as far as Panasonic coming out with a full frame camera. Good Lord, that's what you talk about behind closed doors and what you think is going to happen and what you hope is going to happen. And you just, you know, you just talk amongst yourselves like, yeah, man, what if, and this, and that, and whatever. And then Fuji has a camera coming out. We'll talk about that in a second. Because I wasn't planning to. I just really like Panasonic and Canon. So Panasonic to release a full frame camera on September the 25th. What is the world coming to? They did this for my birthday. I know they love me. Both of them do. They fighting for me. That's all right. Somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose. But so we don't have any pictures or anything. They just have where somebody took a GH5 and put a full frame sensor in it. But they're basically saying that this Photokina event, that's like the largest event that's coming up for cameras and stuff like that, is typically where they're going to be releasing stuff. So is it going to be this G90 that, you know, has been rumored around, where it's possibly going to be, you know, like the big brother to the G85, but full frame, or is the G90 just still going to be micro four thirds? And is this camera something completely new? Nobody knows anything yet. We just don't know. So very exciting times in the camera world. Now, how does this apply to you guys? Like, man, I don't have $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 for all of these different cameras that's coming out. Because when you think of the cameras, yeah, you get the kit lens and the lens and all that extra. If you buy from like B&H, you don't have to worry about sales taxes in your city. If you're, especially like if you're not in New York or something like that. My birthday was August 29th. So this past Wednesday, I turned 30. So that was my birthday. But they just did, you know, they're a little late. They forgot, you know, we got to forgive them, love them anyway. But it's very, very interesting. And I think Panasonic on their website had something coming out about it, Diana. English works well in America. That's all I'm saying. So let's see if I can find something here. But yeah, so I think, and then too, I was thinking about some other stuff. If you don't know, for Hugh Brownstone that is over the channel 3 Blind Men and an Elephant, one of the most articulating, one of the most articulate, one of the most well-spoken, one of the most thoughtful thought leaders that is also a photographer is what I would describe him as. And he talked about, you know, Nikon having an issue in their fiscal year, which they had like a earthquake or some kind of world disaster or something like that, natural disaster rather, that, you know, took out one of their major factories. And so it made things hard for them. And I get that, but don't come out with 2 cameras though. Just come out with the one. Come out with one boss camera and get the money up. But they, like, if you watch his video and what he talks about, the recent one he just did about the not Panasonic, good Lord, I need more coffee, about the Nikon Z6 and Z7. But I'm trying to find on Panasonic's website where they're talking about coming out with a lot of stuff. Because, I mean, when you think about it, Panasonic, they can get the LCD right. because they have TVs and they're into all that stuff and monitors, and they can get the audio right. Like Panasonic has some of the best audio preamps straight out of the body of the camera. You don't need to have an audio recorder unless you just want to have backup recordings and stuff like that. You don't need to have, like an audio recorder back of it. Panasonic has some of the best glass. Like they have incredible resources available to them, and so cameras is just a branch of business, not their primary business. And so I'm not sure where it's at. I can't find it. But something else I wanted to talk about real quick. Let me go through the chat real quick. Yeah, see, Michael, you my brother from another mother. So let me go through the chat real quick. Michael Sandy was also asked to do some videos at church too. I'm already the bass player. That's what's up. Slapping that bass, my brother. Right on. So I played alto saxophone in college and high school. Wish the 5D. What? Wish I had a 5D. I don't even know what you mean by that. So, okay, let's see. I'm going through the chat real quick. So your birthday's on the September 11th. So happy birthday, Michael. Happy early birthday. Yep, same. I have the same birthday as Michael Jackson. Same birthday as his name just got by me because I was watching his service this morning. John McCain. So rest in peace. Not getting into any political stuff, but people that serve deserve respect. So, yeah, his birthday too. Michael Jackson, yeah. Michael, you saying you hip to Hugh Brownstone? Yeah. So, his channel is awesome. So, where does all this come into play? So, whether you can or cannot afford these cameras, that's okay. This is so I could pick up, like as you saw, I picked up the M50 that I'm still doing a battery test on. That's seeming to do pretty good for it to be like a $20 barrel. I'll probably do a review on this at some point. And then, so if I'm not using that to do the stream with, then I'm using this Logitech C920. So, and this is like a $50 or $60 web camera. So you can get good audio. I just have the lights on, $60 microphone. I've talked about this in a $100 stream video. You can watch it on the channel. But what does that have to do with us? If you can't afford these cameras, this is where this is like so beautiful. If you've been wanting a camera for a while, you haven't had the funds, or you got close and you're still not quite where you want to be. People upgrade for no reason. People buy multiple cameras for no reason, and people sell their cameras to get the new cameras to upgrade when nothing is wrong with the previous camera that they have before, and we all do that pretty much. So what that means is that eBay, Craigslist, be careful with all that stuff, but eBay, Craigslist, Amazon are going to be flooded with gently used Amazon warehouse deals. Basically, like I got this M50, the creator kit for $550, the whole thing from B&H. I promise you the Lord had his hand on me that day. He was watching out for me, because this microphone that came with it, I still haven't really found a use for it. So I may sell it because it's like $100 by itself. I think the creator kit is like a $700 thing, but I got it for $500. Brand new microphone. It's nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. But the thing is that, if you had all of this stuff, and let's say I want to get this new camera, and I'm ditching because it's no point for me getting rid of the M50 because I just got that for vlogging, and I would still want that for vlogging. So let's just play with the idea. If I'm getting rid of it, then I'm going to sell the G85. I'm going to sell the ZS70. I'm going to sell the 22 millimeter pancake lens that I bought for the G85. That also includes the accessories, batteries, cords, anything additional, and stuff like that. These kind of stuff, like this is an extra one for me, and I already have a shotgun microphone, but I may keep it because it's brand new. There's nothing wrong with it. And I have other stuff like that, accessories, and all that good stuff. So I could get enough money just selling that stuff for this new Canon camera, for example. And I'm sure Panasonic's new camera will be priced close to it. It's nothing wrong with this stuff. This stuff is sat on a tripod. It's never been in the elements like that. And it's mostly used indoors. And I take care of my stuff. It's never been dropped. The glasses have always had filters over it. It's brand new for the most part, as there's not even a scratch on it. So with me selling it, it's nothing wrong with it. I just want something new, or I need to upgrade and get all the features that I really want. That's only a little bit more for, what I would spend anyway. So now that's a steal for you, because I need to sell it fast. And that's what a lot of people are doing. People are already putting their cameras up in lieu of, waiting for the stuff to be already announced and all that stuff. So if you want, and you can still get a good DSLR camera, like if you bought the 6D Mark II, there's nothing wrong with that. If you bought even if you went and wanted a Panasonic GH5, there's nothing wrong with that. People are selling their gear right now, and they're starting to put their stuff up, especially with this announcement today. eBay is going to be flooded with stuff. And so you got, let's jump over here to Amazon real quick. Then I got a surprise for you guys down in the, what's his face? So in the chat, make sure you hit the like button. You're enjoying what you're seeing. So let's check this out. So, I'm on Amazon, just in the mirrorless cameras section and all that good stuff. And these, I couldn't find just only the best sellers. I'm not sure exactly how to get to it. So you have the A7 III, the A5100. This is like $448 with the kit lens. Doesn't have a microphone in jack, but A7 III, so that's close to $2,000. Then you have, go back. You have the A6000 kit with all of this stuff. Two 64 gigabyte cards, $598. I don't think this has a microphone in jack either, but it's still. You have the Fuji X-T20. That's right at $1,200 with the kit lens. You have another A6000 kit. You have the GH5, a GH5 kit over here for $1,700. GH5 body by itself, $1,697. You got some other stuff going on here, but the point is that, like, memory cards, all this stuff, people are going to start offloading their gear just to make sure that they can get whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? As far as buying stuff, it's just like, you don't have to. Let me switch screens here. I'm messing with my stuff. Okay. All right. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of money. Whatever you've been saving, if you got something you need to sell, you got an old smartphone or new smartphone or whatever, like, especially like if most people upgrade smartphones, there's nothing wrong with them. New phones come out every year. So you got all this stuff. Like, again, like I said, just for the example of me, if I offloaded all my Panasonic stuff, my lenses, that's something that's going to be on sale. Not on sale, because they don't go on sale. They hold their value really well. But if I'm selling my stuff, I need to get this money quick. If I wanted to sell it and I put it on sale for today, and I'm doing like a buy it now kind of deal, and I'm discounting it more than if I did for an auction on eBay or something like that. I just want like the money as fast as possible, so that when September 5th comes, or September 25th when Panasonic releases their stuff, I already have the money I need to go ahead and pre-order. So that means I may be breaking it up, selling it individually. I'm going to sell the lenses cheaper than what I would for the regular price on Amazon or B&H. Whether it's and then you also have Amazon warehouse deals. So you got all of that stuff. So Vapey Gamer is saying, for my starter camera, I'm going to be buying EOS M. So you mean, do you mean, in English, Diana, do you mean the original Canon EOS M, or do you just mean like EOS M in general, period, like the M50 type stuff, or M6, M5, or something like that? So let me know. I'm really curious. But since you said that, let's go over to Amazon. And I hope none of my, hold on, let me switch back real quick, because I know I'm still signed in. So let me do something real quick, because we got safety. Gotta have safety in these streets. Let's do something real quick. All right, so we're good. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up real quick. So a lot of people are against buying used stuff. Everything I've bought on this table has been used. Everything. ZS70 used, M50 is used, G85 is used. The only thing that was brand new was the M6 because it was on sale at the time, and the T5, Canon T5i, because I didn't know what I know now about cameras and stuff to look for. But I've talked about that on the channel as well, what to look for if you're like buying used gear and all that stuff. So let's go. And I'm gonna help you out, baby gamer. So let's check this out. So this is what I did here is I went to Amazon, and in this drop down you have Amazon Warehouse. Okay, this is my secret sauce right here when I need to get stuff on the low. You have Canon mirrorless is all I typed in. I just want to see what comes up. So this is Amazon's used stuff. Amazon is going to make sure their stuff works, but then you also need to make sure you're checking to make sure when you get the stuff, it works. Jacks is not loose and all that extra other stuff. So you got the A6000 that's even cheaper than what we saw before when we just looked at this stuff. So $446, you can get it. That's going to be gently used with the body, and it's going to have the kit lens. A5100, now we're looking at $369. A7, for $923 with the kit lens. Again, even if you like, one hack that people that buy cameras and stuff do is that they'll get a camera like this that they don't even really want because it's so cheap if they want the lens. So if I wanted just the lens that came with this for, my A6500 or something like that, then I just want a pancake lens for my camera, I'd get the camera, or even get this one, the A5100. I'd get the camera with the kit lens if I just wanted the lens because it's cheap. If I wanted to, just get whatever this lens is, it's cheaper. You got the Panasonic G7, that's $435. This is Amazon's warehouse deals. You got the Sony A7 II, that's $1135. And these are always cheaper than what you typically would see. A6300, you got Fuji XT. So all of this stuff now, we just looked at similar products. Now you're looking at stuff that's way cheaper. 60 Mark II, $1,400. All of this for the 77D that just came out, like maybe less than a year ago or so, $800. So you not only get two lenses, you get the kit lens plus this other, longer lens, 64 gigabyte card, flash with a diffuser and all kinds of good stuff. Backpack, Fuji X-T20. Fuji is an incredible brand. Oh my gosh, incredible. I'm surprised. 782. Fuji X-T20, yeah. And so M100, they don't have it available. So this stuff you can kind of watch for if it did become available. But if this stuff pops up, it goes quickly. So let's go up here to, let's see. I'm just going to click on the used offers. So this is with the lens. Let's say you don't want it with the lens. You just got the camera. Maybe you know somebody in town or on Craigslist where you locate it. So now we just dropped that camera even cheaper. So $354, I could get me a Sony A6000 and start recording. Buy Amazon. And have it in 2 days. So this is what I do when I'm going to look for like a used camera and stuff like that. And then sometimes they'll have pictures, maybe if it has a little ding on it, or if it doesn't, or like I said, it'll come without the package or with the packaging, but the packaging will be damaged. Who cares? It's just a box. And so you got the back of the camera that looks good, no scratches and all of that. It still works. It still tilts and all of that stuff. So you just want to do what I do and carry that camera around and test it for the next 30 days. So if I went to Amazon warehouse deals again, let me just type Canon camera and see what comes up. So you got some point and shoots that's up here for $198. 80D, $800. 7D, $937. T6. I would always get, if you're going to get it like a T5i, T6, this one doesn't have a flip out screen or fully articulating screen, so mess with those. T6, those are cheap because it doesn't have the flip out screen and stuff like that. 50 millimeter, it's over here, but it's not available right now, but it's over here, which means you can get it for cheap. T6i, $494. That has okay autofocus, like the hybrid autofocus and all that good stuff, $494. So some other stuff that they have here, but it's just the idea. I mean, you can dig through that stuff anytime and check that stuff out, and it's good. Like, it is good. All right, so let's get to the chat. I'm scared to buy used. Michael say scared. So yeah. So when you're talking about used cameras, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna show y'all real quick, and then just to save the integrity of the replay, unless there's any questions, y'all want to keep going, we can, but otherwise we probably kill it because my battery test is over. Battery died, so I need to see what the timing was on that. So if you're going to be buying a used camera, stuff that you want to look for is that the sensor has never been touched. There's no fingerprints or nothing like that on it. Are any of these dials, like, this is still stiff? There's no play in it. So I want to make sure, is that loose? Is it, I'm not worried about the way stuff looks, artificial stuff, like if it was a little dent right here or a chip. I'm not worried about that stuff. That comes with wear and tear of the camera. Are these buttons loose? When I press it, does it respond? Does the screen flip like it's supposed to? Am I looking at any software issues? Like, just use it. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if something is stuttering or it's messing up or whatever, you will be able to see, like, oh, I wonder what's wrong. Headphone jack. Plug in the headphone and just move it and see, is it a lot of play in it or is it okay? See if you're having any issues with the battery. That's how I was able to figure out that something was wrong with my Panasonic GX8. It had these lines that would come across, red, blue, and green lines that would just, like, I hit stop recording and it'd be like psh, a bunch of lines. So with all that being said, I'm like, that's not normal. Shouldn't do that. Whatever your phone does when you hit record and stop, that's pretty much what a camera should do. It should be responsive, do what it's supposed to do, record, and all that stuff. When you turn it on, is like, even if, like, so when I bought this one, if when I turn it on, that doesn't come out real smooth, if it gets stuck, if one of these are bent, it's going back. If you need to zoom in or out and it's not responding, then, I need to make sure. Is it making any noises? You'll be able to identify stuff. Are the buttons working? It's just regular stuff when you're using it. That is the only thing that really matters. Most people that use cameras, especially if you're getting into something that's like $500, $600, $700, most people, if they bought it, I see a lot of people, especially like Facebook Marketplace, that's another good place to check out gear. I just type in like Canon camera or Canon lens or something like that. Most people buy these cameras and they wind up getting overwhelmed with the DSLR or a mirrorless camera because it looks good and you see people on YouTube doing all this crazy stuff, and then you all of a sudden like, man, why I can't do that? Why my pictures don't look like that? I really didn't want to use the Logitech C920 because now I'm used to a certain look when I'm live streaming, when I use the M50 or when I use the J85 or something like that. But it's fine. I started with this. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If I sold it, it's been sitting on top of a tripod like it is now or on top of the desktop. It's like, so most people, if they're using their stuff and they're using it on a regular and consistent basis for it to be able to be used on a regular and consistent basis, it needs to work. So if you're going to meet somebody in person, go through, take your time. Don't let nobody rush you for nothing. If you're buying on Amazon, you got 30 days. That's why I carry these cameras with me. When I buy something like this or anything, the J85, I'm carrying that camera with me every single day. I'm making myself use it. I do a lot of vlogs that never get shown, never get posted or nothing. They just are trash videos. But I'm doing full out videos. I want to test different SD cards, making sure that it's responding, that it's working like it's supposed to. It's not having issues where it's corrupting the cards for no reason, because my cards work fine. I buy good quality cards, so I don't have those issues. Is the LCD working? Do I see dead pixels? Like, I saw one on the M50 randomly one day, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I'm like, holy Macklemore, my camera needs to go back. Are you serious? But no. All it did, you take the lens off. Another secret. Take the lens off. It has a, because this is just like the straight sensor. It's bare. So dust can be attracted to it in anything. I don't know what it was, but I watched a quick 30-second video on YouTube. They said to turn the camera on, put it on the cleaning, the sensor cleaning, automatic sensor cleaning, turn it upside down while it's doing the sensor cleaning, and then see it again, and it was gone. So it was just something, whatever. But it's like, is it something really wrong with the camera? Or is it something that's not? You don't know if you're waiting for a shoot day. Like, so today is my shoot day. That's why I got time to do this stream, because I'm doing the battery test and stuff like that. And then I'm going to go into recording as soon as we're done with this. And how do I know that this works well? This is used. I just got this used for Amazon. These go for $230. I bought it for $160. Is it anything on the back here? Does this look like it's been touched or scratched? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Just your regular wear and tear. People that use their gear, that especially like cameras and stuff, they're trying to get paid. So if they need to sell something, like I want to sell this stuff, for example, if I did, then I'm trying to get money so I can get something else. I don't have time to be dealing with back and forth, or I want my money back. So you got to think with that kind of mindset for the people that's buying stuff. I guarantee you somebody's 14-year-old got this M50 creator kit, and it's like, no, it's 4K and just whatever, and whining. So mom and daddy took it back, down and picked it up. And if I'm buying from Amazon warehouse, not just used, because then I could set up a Amazon account, a seller's account, and sell my own stuff. Look at the pictures, ask a lot of questions. Don't just be gung-ho and just get it. Take your time. But if you see a good deal, like I did for the stuff that I get, and I'll do a video and I'll show like how I just showed you, like the Amazon warehouse deals. I've done a video like that before, but it's a couple other hacks that I want to share too. And it should be coming out with this M50 series. But, you know, is it okay to buy third-party batteries? These are not the Canon whatever batteries. This is by, quote unquote, this Big Mike's company or whatever. It's not the regular Canon battery. But from the test that I just did, it lasted longer than I expected. Right now, I can tell you real time. And this just comes with testing your stuff. Like, I take Saturday mornings, early Saturday mornings, check my emails. I don't have any clients scheduled for this week to meet with anybody. So I'm good there. So I'm free. So now I can check. This right now, I can tell you real time, this just did better than those K-Star batteries that I checked out. And it recorded for 2 hours. So these Big Mike's batteries just recorded for 2 hours, where those K-Star batteries that I was using only did like an hour and 20 or hour and 30 minutes. Now I can recommend these. I've used these. I've tried them. I test them. Because I was testing also the record time. Not the record time, but the set a timer on my phone. I needed to charge my phone, and I needed to record the other battery. So I tested it right out the box just to see how much you can get. And that was like an hour straight out the box. And so I wanted to, usually the charging times for these little batteries would pretty much tell you how much battery life. So it's 2 hours. I'm like, oh, am I going to get 2 hours out of this? What's up with this? So got 2 hours out of it. That's more than an hour. So now I can sell those K-Star batteries. There's nothing wrong with them, but I don't need them anymore. They're, they're not trash because they don't work, or keep them just as a spare for, like, I'm getting ready to do this big trip. Like, it's going to be, I'm going to do more vlogs here to share those. I got some interviews and stuff like that coming up where I'm going to be sitting with other creators. A lot of good stuff coming. A lot of good stuff coming. So that's where I'm at. But don't be afraid to use stuff. Like think of a professional that's selling the used stuff, or somebody that didn't know what they were doing that is selling something. Because even if you did buy something used on Amazon, like this is used, and if I saw something was wrong with it, I got 30 days to send it back and get a refund. B&H photo video, I got 30 days to send it back. And B&H is I thought that initially they weren't all that great because they cost a lot, but they really don't. You may find cheaper stuff on Amazon at different times. But if they see Amazon lower their price for something, they typically will lower their price for something. And I think like a couple hours or a day, less than a day later, the M6 was lowered to one price. and the M50 was shipping. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And they's like, oh, don't worry, we just changed the price, or because they just changed their price on their website. And I'm like, yo, I just bought this. And they were like, okay, we can adjust it, no problem. I didn't fuss fight. I just sent a quick email like, hey, is this going to be at the discounted price? Like, you just changed it a couple hours after I bought the camera. What's up with this? So good stuff there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hit the like button, love button, the heart button. It's not all that on YouTube. I'm just messing with you. But tag, it was an hour. I said I was going to do 30 minutes. Y'all messed me up. But so real quick, I'm going to check the chats. I like the SL2. Michael, I like the SL2 also. I think it is a great little camera, and I think that it is anything that has that dual pixel autofocus on it. That's a small light camera. It's a DSLR, so you still get access to all those EFS lenses. That's by Canon. I think that's a phenomenal deal, and it's awesome. So definitely pick that up if you want one. Let's see here. So since I had Amazon up, used $4.95 with the kit lens, and I bet you that price will drop some once people start selling them. People that got the SL2 that want this new full frame mirrorless camera that Canon's coming out with. Nothing wrong with the camera. Camera's not that old. They'll sell it. So expect to see a lot of cameras that you may want or we're looking at. Get that camera. The camera bodies always go on sale and stuff like that, more so than the lenses. But sometimes you can get a really old camera, like, if I wanted like the let's say somebody had this 22mm lens on a Canon EOS M, the very first mirrorless camera that they did. And they had this on it, and they were selling it for $200. The lens by itself, brand new, cost $230. I would get that because I can get a cheap little camera with it, but I'm getting the lens for cheap, So it's just like I'm getting it for the lens. So you can do that too and see all that kind of stuff on eBay. So Michael saying that's my price range. Get it, man, or wait if you've been waiting this long. See what happens if the price drops on between now. A little bit after Canon makes their announcement, a little bit after Panasonic makes their announcement. But yeah, check it out, and it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. But guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. We are going to call it a day. Really wanted to crush it at the 30-minute mark, but got some questions, got some love going on in the chat, so we're good with that. Nothing wrong with that. But guys, it's been a wonderful, beautiful, amazing stream. I'm thankful that you guys are here. Thanks for spending some time with me. I don't take that lightly. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment down below even after the video if you have any other questions or something like that that you guys wanted to know. Maybe that, new updates or something like that. So, because this stream is only going to be effective for a couple days. Oh, I said I was going to do something down below. So I got a discount for the microphone that I use from Amazon, since you guys know I'm an Amazon affiliate. So the lavalier microphone, like I did the Pop Voice versus the Purple Panda microphone, and so it looks like this. I got a discount for that today for 40% off, and it usually is on sale, and you get like the adapter and all that extra other stuff. It has this adapter with it, this Pop Voice adapter. So basically you can take the TRRS that has the 3-ring to this one that can go on your camera, and you can use that. That also makes it sure you can plug the mic straight into your smartphone and use the mic for that, or use the adapter with this, and you'll get that in the bundle and all that stuff. So you're getting 40% off. Secret link of the day is down below in the description, so make sure you check that out. So that's a discount that as an affiliate of Amazon, they offered that to us today. And so since I sell pretty much a lot of those lapel microphones, the Purple Panda and then the Pop Voice microphone, I get a discount on selling those today. I think it's good for a couple days. So get one. I think at the end of the day, it may be like $5 or $7. So yeah, Use that 40% off coupon code. So links down in the description down below. As always, my friends, live with passion. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.